Okay, so we're going to talk about how I was accidentally sold as a slave. Not as a slave, but almost kind of auctioned off as a slave.
Okay.
So, back when we were little, mom and dad had this tour company, and they were business partners with somebody. Now, this business partner, he was a hunter. Like, mom and dad had a hunting lodge where people would come up to go for hunts. So, this one fella from Alabama, that's your first clue as to where this is going. Um, he decided to go into business with my parents. He had the money for the investments to buy the tour bus, I guess, and mom and dad handled everything else, I guess. So, anyways, when he decided to join up with us, he decided to move to Nova Scotia. So he packed up from Alabama, he moved up here, and he didn't have a house yet, so he stayed at the hunting lodge. Now, he he was really sketchy about the hunting lodge. Like, it wasn't even out. Like, we borrowed the hunting lodge from my grandfather, and we used it to accommodate the hunters coming up. And he thought it was his, so whenever I went over to the lodge, he would set little booby traps on the place. Like, there was a big sliding door, and if I slid open the sliding door, there was a little wheel that kind of glided it in place, and he would put toothpicks in it. So whenever the sliding door would open up, the toothpick would slide out, so he would know when someone came in. So instead of just locking it like a normal person, he he did that, even though it was not his place. Like, if we went there to go spend the day there or something when he was working, um, he he would get really upset and and just rant and rave about how we're going in there, even though he didn't have the whole lodge to himself. He just rented a room from there.
So he was renting a room but still thought the whole place was his.
Pretty much. Well, he wasn't renting it. We were letting him stay there for free. Anyways, one time we were hanging out there, and we decided to play poker one night. Now, I don't know anything about poker, but he decided to make a little wager. And he was like, if I win, you have to be my slave for the night. Now, I was only 10.
I was gonna say, you said this was when you were little, so how old?
So I was only 10 or 11 years old.
Oh dear.
Now, I should have known this was going to be sketchy because he said some really sketchy things that I didn't quite catch on about. Like, he we had a candy in Canada called Smarties, and he asked me, "Where's the black Smartie in this package?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "There are no black Smarties." I was like, "There's no black Smarties." He's like, "Yeah, I know." And he was like, "No, no, I meant people." I'm like, "Oh no."
Uh-oh.
So, anyways, he also said some really weird stuff. Like, he brought his grandson up fishing once, and he was teasing his grandson about prom, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna ask a black girl to prom?" And his grandson would be like, "I ain't getting no N words to my prom. I don't want to hang out with any of them." I was like, "Oh no,
This is not going to a good place.
no." So when when we were playing the poker game, he was like, "Yeah, if I win, you got to be my slave for the night." And I'm like, "Okay, it'll be." I don't think he's really being serious. I thought he was just joking, and I would get to go to the camp and spend the night, which I really like to do, and we'll have a campfire and all that. But no, he was being completely serious when my mom and dad left. Which, mom and dad, you should not have done that.
I was gonna say, was it just you and him?
Yeah,
That seems really random, especially if you were 10.
well, I might have been 12, but I was old enough to.
Well, you were a kid then.
I was old enough to be allowed to go do something out on my own, but probably too young to be there by myself. And I don't know if mom and dad even knew about the slave part. They probably just knew that I was going to go out there for the night.
Did they know you were playing poker?
Oh, they don't care about that. They're just cards. They didn't care.
Well, I meant about the wager part.
I don't think they knew about that part, but anyways, as soon as Mom and Dad left, he said, "You got to sweep the floors." I'm like, "What are you?" Like, okay, man, I'll sweep the floors. We had I was dragging my feet all through the building, and I was like, his name was Bob, so I was just like, okay, Bob, I'll do that. And he was like, "You're gonna call me Sir Boy." I was like, "What?" So he was like really into the whole plantation style of calling me boy. And I really should have known because he was from Alabama, and he bragged one time about, like, he was a Marine at one point, and he bragged about shooting a woman because she stunk so bad. Like, they took a POW when they were on some mission overseas, and I don't know if it was a POW or someone on their base camp or something, but they bragged about shooting a woman because she stunk so much.
That is disturbing.
Yeah. So anyways, through the night, he kept making me call him sir, and like, you know those little cardboard cutouts you would see at a shooting gallery with the silhouette of somebody?
Yeah.
He made me bring my BB gun out to the yard and shoot at it because I accidentally shot the building because I didn't know how to shoot a BB gun, and I shot the building. I was like, "I'm going to teach you how to do it." And then he brought me out, and he was like, "This is what you want to shoot." I was like, and it's the right color for someone you want to shoot too. I'm like, "Oh no." So yeah, he made me call him sir. He wanted me to call him boy, and he wanted me to shoot black people. So that's how I was sold. Not sold, but that's how I lost a wager and ended up being a slave. So there you go. Okay, and that was me talking about how I was used as a slave by a racist dude from Alabama. So, hope you enjoyed that. Maybe next time I'll talk about something a little more lighthearted. See ya.